Hello, Dragoons. My name is Alex, and welcome back to South Park: The Stick of Truth. In the last video, we managed to get off the alien spaceship, but unfortunately, there's a lot of things that's going on in town. So, for starters, we are going to, well, actually, uh, more context. So, apparently, the Stick of Truth was stolen again last night, which is against the rules. So, we need to recruit another faction for our army. In this case, it's the goth kids that are right beside the school. Now, they are not even going to think about joining us until we get until we fulfill 3 certain criteria. One, we look goth, which is as simple as buying goth clothes, as the game labels it. Grabbing some cigarettes, which is what we came to beat up these 6th graders for. And third, we need to get some dark coffee. Exactly why dark coffee, I got no idea. It seems like any kind of coffee could work, but I guess it's supposed to be a thematic thing. I don't really know. Anyway, I think it was around that time I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do with my armor and stuff like that. But while I was here, I may as well sell and buy stuff. So, yeah, the junk in this game can stack up quite a lot. So, you know. And I don't think that I buy anything here, although I will say that the frickin' sweet katana, that is the best weapon in the game. Well, objectively, it's the best weapon, but it's not the last one that we'll get. So, you know. Okay, so I'm heading over to the used storage facility because this hobo guy right here is actually a small shop, and he will give us the goth clothes, which actually look pretty nice in this game. I will admit, you know, like I like the fingerless glove look that's going on, and especially with what I did with my character at the beginning, it definitely looks. It looks nice, that's all I'm saying. Either way. But I also came over here because this is where we can simply get the dark roast. And you can hold off on Tweak and, Mr. and Mrs. Tweak's friend request until then. So that way you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But, yeah, just get the Tweak Bros dark roast and you're good to go. But I also figured I'd stock up on a couple of things while I'm there. Okay, so now we're introduced to the elven faction for the game. Well, we see things from their perspective. So, as the dude is saying, you can fight this battle, but there's really no point. And because I want to get a move on, I decided, okay, I'm coming with you. And it doesn't really matter if you beat them or not because, if you choose to fight them or not, the outcome is still the same. Like, this cutscene is still the same, the dialogue, everything. So, yeah. And, of course, the one leading the elves is Kyle, because who else would oppose Cartman? Anyway. So, Okay. That's a fairly good joke to make for this point in the game, because, you know, like in a lot of games, a player character is often silent. So, you know, you like a strong silent type, think you're hot shit. It's fun. So anyway, so Kyle gives us an ultimatum. They say that the elves didn't take the stick and that Cartman is hiding it, which again is against the rules. So they offer an alliance. So like they offer us to give them to ally with them. And I'm going to tell you this right now, the elven partners are definitely the better partners in the game. Like for from this point on, I don't use any other partners aside from one time that I used Cartman outside of battle, because yes, you can get Cartman and Kyle as buddies in this game. However, I prefer the elven partners because, well, for one, Stan can do a lot more damage, I find. Jimmy can do a lot of status buffs, and his attack, while it seems really low, hits pretty fucking hard, and is also, well, I mean, well, he can give us more power just by doing his bardic ability, which is pretty nice. Oh, sorry. So I believe I was trying to find a weapon. Oh, right. And here I find the armor that I use for a majority of the game, but I don't get it yet. Well, like, I don't equip it yet because I'm not at the appropriate level. So yeah, everything's level capped in this game. Oh, so here we have a. Okay, so this side quest is not that bad, but you know, it's not very interesting either. You're just going around town, finding flags, and, well, actually, I should probably back up. So I'm starting 3 different side quests right now. First is Stan. Basically, someone took his phone and we gotta get it back. Now, Jimmy, on the other hand, he wants a flute, and the only place that you can get the flute in the game is at the ranch, which is also a place where we need to go for a Jimbo and Ned side quest. Now, I don't do any of those in this video, I think. Instead, I just head on back to the Goth Kids so that way we can get the story moving. Yeah. So, once you have all the items, you can just come on back to the Goth Kids. They'll talk to you, but that's not necessarily gonna be enough. Like, they go a little bit deeper into a Goth mindset for this universe, but you know, like, I mean, trying to find the words. Okay. So now we have one last quest for the Goth Kids. Basically, we need to go to the PTA meeting. Okay, so, do you remember back in the early days of the Let's Play, there was this building right here? Well, there's now a meeting going on in there, and we need to take a photo of that sign taped to the table. But, I mean, it's not going to be easy, of course, you know, like, you don't get something for nothing, after all. I mean, so, okay, so, also, they're talking about the school closing down due to the construction of a new Taco Bell, which I'll be honest, I like Taco Bell. I think it's good food for what it is, you know, and I'm not saying it's gourmet. I'm just saying, like, if you're in, like, if you want some Mexican fast food, it's a good place to stop by. But anyway, now Randy sorta knows what's going on, but he probably thinks that it's just a dream, if I'm being honest, because he never really explains just... Okay. So, Randy, from what I can infer, is probably thinking that the, well, like, since the new kid doesn't talk, from what I'm inferring, he thinks that the alien spaceship stuff is probably just another dream. Though that probably wouldn't make any sense, considering some of the lines he said while on the ship, but then again, South Park is a very, somewhat loose continuity, but either way. So Randy wants to figure out what the hell is going on with the with a new Taco Bell, because he can kind of like it sort of half-assedly implies that Randy knows that it's not a Taco Bell that's going on. It's just a cover-up of an alien crash site. So Randy decides to help teach us a new move, which we'll need to go to the bathroom for. And Mr. Mackey also has a side quest, but that's at the used storage facility, and we're not going to go there, at least for a little bit. So, this will be the third... this will be the third spell that we'll learn in the game. And honestly, I think that this one kind of screwed me over in this particular run. Because, well, you'll see. Well, I'll address it when we get there, but this is actually not a terrible thing to use, but honestly, I don't see much of a point for it outside of, trying to get past certain areas. So this is called the Sneaky Squeaker. And yes, it is kind of funny, but basically it's a distraction. If you see any enemies in the overworld, you can distract them with the Sneaky Squeaker so you can get by. At least that's the idea, but we'll get to that later. But for now, we just need to test it out on an actual person, in this case, Mr. Mackey. And as far as I'm aware, outside of this and the next time that we're going to come back here, he doesn't really play much of a plot significance. Like, he never did, but, the sequel kind of did, well, it sort of had a bigger purpose with him because, he showed up a little bit more often. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy. So, now we need to head on over to that construction site, which is right next to, City Walk and Tower of Peace. And also Dark Meadows, but really you can use either or. I just went with tokens because it's technically the closest. But yeah. And also, just in case you need a sign to know how dated this game is. Okay, so now, okay, so you see that ship in the background, right? You know it's not a fucking Taco Bell, but these guys fucking insist that it is. And you want to know how gullible the South Park residents are? Check this out. I don't even know what an enchilado is. I kind of want one now, but like, they still think that it's a Taco Bell coming up. Like, Jesus Christ, dudes. Can you not see a flying saucer looking ass thing behind you? Like, I get it's the joke, but come the fuck on. I can poke fun at this not being any kind of realistic whatsoever. Jesus, headshot. It's just Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. If you know where that's from, you know. Okay, so this is where the Sneaky Squeaker is actually failing me here. So, basically, what the idea is that you need to distract both guards so that way you can get into, the gate, right? But for some fucking reason, the game decided twice, or like 2, maybe 3 times, no, not gonna happen, Chief, not gonna happen. And you need to do this in a timely manner because the Sneaky Squeaker will fucking let go after a while. So, I guess what you're supposed to do is to use Sneaky Squeaker once to lure both of them away from the gate, but like a third time to like to bring them further away from the gate or something. Like that's what I ended up doing, but I swear I didn't have this much trouble on the PS3 version. At least from what I remember. It's been a long time. But with this guard, technically you could lock him up in that truck, but I could never figure out how to frickin' do it. So what I always do is go for the electric water route. And careful because it will hurt you, as you clearly saw. But thankfully you get regenerating health after a little bit. And there's another weapon thing that I can't use, so just gonna leave it there. Oh, and also, if you use the goth clothes in battle, they don't provide any kind of special effects or anything like that. Like the Woodrow stuff, like the Wood Elf stuff I have, if someone does a physical attack, then they will get hurt by doing that. So, yeah, it's whatever. And yes, this is the effect of the goo. It turns people to Nazi zombies. And honestly, I really, really don't feel like censoring this because, well, for one, I already put a content warning at the beginning of the video. And second, that's kind of the point of the game, you know, like, they're going to be an active threat throughout the rest of the story, so it doesn't really make much sense to me, and it kind of lessens the joke if I get rid of it. At least, that's just how my brain's working. So now, we need to get into that room, find that tape recorder before they come back and encrypt the thing. But luckily for us, as soon as we jump down, there he is. This motherfucker's free again. Oh, and for those wondering, those are actual Adolf quotes that they're doing. Like, I think they got like actual footage, and they decided, you know what? Let's just use this. At least I think that's what they're doing. Okay, so the sword I have is not very strong, but then again, I was using my lightest attack. Sorry, Mitch. And see that? Jimmy's rocks are pretty damn powerful. At least for what they are, you know? And you always love to see the big damage. Nice. I probably could have started with that earlier and the fight would be done, but it's whatever. SWAT gear. This is pretty good too. Basically what the SWAT gear does, at least I think this is what it does. Basically it's it not only decreases, well, not only does it increase your defense, but it also gives you some regeneration abilities. Oh, and there's also I believe this is a one-time gym Pokemon here, so be careful about that. All right. All right, now for Stan, my go-to side character. Well, not side character, sorry. My go-to buddy for this game. Outside of Kyle, of course, but there's a reason for that. Anyway, so now we're getting into our second, well, technically third fight with Nazi zombies, but I did kind of want to show this off because, I mean, well, they are going to be a recurring thing, and the last one was a mandatory battle, so, yeah, is what it is. Yeah, so we got repulsing here, which means that this guy is going to block our melee stuff. And I believe it was around here that the game started to slow down for me, at least. So that's why we got some not so timed blocks and all that jazz. Okay, now that all of them are bleeding, they can go down a little bit faster. And I say a little bit. Now, Stan is actually pretty good for crowd control because he can attack at most, depending on the formation, 3 at once. Let's say there were 6 enemies. Stan could attack 1 row all at the same time. That is generally what he does. But anyway, so after healing up, because I think the thing is with the elves is that they don't have a lot of defense at their side. So I decided to just do something. Actually, oh wait, oh great. This also led to the thing here, and Stan almost died, which thankfully he didn't. Okay, so now that that fight's done, we can head on back over to the PTA and back over to the goth kids. But I made a slight error because I went back to the goth kids not knowing I didn't have the photo, so I went back. So I had to, go all the way back to the PTA and... Yep, yeah, see? Like, I didn't want to drag the video out any more than I had to, so, just doing what we can. So, with that said, this is the, for the PCA part at least, this is the last time that we're going to see much of anything. Ugh. Sorry, my neck kind of hurts. So, I guess because most of this is encrypted, but they can only get a certain amount of, information, but at least for now. Okay, so just when it sounds like Randy's here, they're still oblivious to this whole fucking thing, and god damn it, it's still fucking funny. I don't know why. Like it drives me up a wall because no one is this stupid, realistically speaking. But I can't help it. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, we can get friend requests from all but 2 of the PTA meetings. PTA staff. Because Mackie has a friend request that you can only do if you finish up his side quest. But now we can finally head on back to the Goths and finish up this side quest. Now, I should mention that you have the option to choose either side with Cartman or side with Kyle. Personally, I always side with Kyle. The only time that I side with Cartman was once, and that was just to get a trophy. Because, oh, right. One last test to prove that we're goth. DDR. That's basically what this is. I don't know why everything was going there, but I did fail this one time in my life, but I don't remember how. Maybe it was maybe it was too many bad inputs, maybe the cigarette. I don't really know. But now that that's taken care of, the Goths will follow us in no matter which side we choose. And eventually Cartman is going to get word about this. So, but we'll take care of that next time. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. The next milestone that we'll be celebrating is 500 subscribers, and if possible, I would like to hit that by June. So until next time, Socio Goons, remember, reach for the stars.